Yes, I was going to say.
Very Italian of you. Is it the Italian side?
Yeah, the feeding is, you know, it's part of my nature.
Does it matter that there's a different configuration with what we're, you know? Okay. So, ready? So feeling our feelings around hearing the Herstory is the key piece. And acknowledging them and seeing what personal stories it raises for us, which will be our own example of it. And understanding that there's a heap more weight underneath it. And there's this concept called the pain body. Have you heard about that? Eckhart Tolle speaks of the pain body. And the pain body is like it's kind of like the vibe that's around of the Herstory. So the Herstory is a collective, creates a collective pain body for humanity. And it's in us, it's with us. And as you heard through the Herstory, there's ways this shows up all the time in healthcare and education, in agriculture, in farming, you know, the way the earth is treated. Just like pushed to the extreme to get as much out of her as possible such that, you know, there's nothing left. Disrespect for the feminine in all ways. And the desire for, within our culture, to be up and ready and on and producing and go, go, go. You know, that's not acknowledging the cycle, which includes a rest time. You know, like, I think the easiest way for us to remember the flow of the cycle is to remember the seasons. There's the awakening in the spring, so birth, growth, full bloom in the summer, harvest in the autumn, decay, and then death, and then rebirth. So that cycle's going on and on and on. And that's one of the things that's been lost with the disregard and disrespect of the feminine, is the awareness of the cycle. And if we don't follow the cycle in everything that we do that to our peril. And we see that most obviously in the situation with the earth right now. And the other thing is that this Herstory is not about women against men. You know, men did this to women. We actually co-created this. You know, we're all in everything together. So to even try to blame somebody for something is another way we need to avoid. So it's about recognizing that it's been a co-creation that has taught us a lot, and now we're at a new place. So if you want to use that cycle, that part, in our culture, in our lucky culture, it's pretty much past. You know, next week is V-Day. And there's 1 billion women rising against abuse against women, started by Eve Ensler in America. You know, so women are rising up, and so are their men. Men don't want this either, and they have a feminine side too. So it's like they don't. The effect of the Herstory on men is just as huge as it is on women. So we co-created that. And now we need to co-create the healing, and we are, and we need to help each other, and to do the things we know we need to do. Care for the earth, you know, like be smart with how you do your shopping, you know, what you buy. Don't buy lots of plastic. And also the other thing is, if you believe in reincarnation, who knows who you were then? There's a big chunk of history, of time, of 400 or 500 centuries when the witch hunt was on, and you know, 3,000 or 4,000 years of the patriarchal reign. That if you believe in reincarnation, we will have all had several past lives through that, and maybe coming together now is part of the healing for our own previous experiences. Well, I mean, I'm sure it is. So It's more about what we can do individually in how we live to help heal the wounded feminine. And if you can't think of what that might be, just think about the earth, how you can help heal the earth through your practices, through what you do, and reconnecting with the feminine. And the easiest way that women can reconnect with their feminine is to connect with their menstrual cycle. It's like happening whether you're paying attention or not, and if you're not paying attention, it's probably doing all sorts of things to make you pay attention. And getting off chemical contraception, it's so bad for you. It's really bad for the environment. You know, the amount of women on the pill and hormone replacement therapy and all the other hormonal implants and injections and stuff, their urine goes into the water table. So there is a huge content of estrogen in the water table, and it's now being research being done, and they're thinking that it's contributing to male infertility. So there's this estrogen dominance in our culture, not just through that, but also through plastics and fertilizers and all that kind of stuff. So back to what you can do about it, just to be with your body in all of the cycles that it is. To be with your body in the cycles that it gives you, to teach you about the cycles, because it's all about the same cycle: birth, growth, full bloom, harvest, decay, death, rebirth, growth, full bloom, harvest, decay, death, over and over and over and over. And it plays out in your menstrual cycle, and it plays out in the lunar cycle every moon. It plays out in the seasons of the earth every year, and it plays out in our lifetime. We have a spring of our life, which is from birth to about 25, and then a summer of our life, which is classically motherhood, but 25 to say 50 when it's menopause, and then an autumn of our life, the season of Marga, from post-menopause to about 70, and that's like autumn, as I said, and then the winter of our life, which is our crone or old wise woman. And so much of our culture just ignores this cycle, and everybody just tries so hard to look like 23-year-olds, and it doesn't work. And so, practically speaking, connecting with your menstrual cycle, because your body is such a great source of information and for you about what you need to do to bring balance into your life. Yeah. I'm just rambling now.
Your rambles are always good. If I had to listen to anybody ramble, it would be you.
Oh.
That was great rambling.